Hey y'all, okay, so I'm getting real results here. Working out with Kiara LASHAE Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and taking my ISOT, y'all. I am really getting it in. Y'all can get these booty bands, y'all can get cute little workout outfits and everything from teamlashae.com. The link is down below in the description box. Okay, check out these results right here. Get into it. Y'all should also check out Waist Knot Beads. She sent me these and I really love them. But yes, y'all, get onto this ISOT. I know they tell y'all it's a scam, but it's not. Like, look at me. And let's not forget about Omiage. Get you some. Come on now. Get all moisturized and such. Let your natural hair live. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back for another Greenleaf review, y'all. Let's just get into it. So y'all, first of all, we found out that Darius wasn't dead at all, okay? They had arrested Darius on some trumped up charges, said that he was on PCP while he was driving, and they pulled him over and arrested him. And so now Grace is picking him up from jail, and he's rushing off to go and meet with the family who said they would talk to him about Edenvale lending. Grace is going to meet with Aaron to see if there is anything that they can do about stopping the demolition on Calvary, okay? Because y'all know Bob is coming into town and they're acting like this whole tearing down of Calvary is, you know, some joyful event. So they have news cameras, you know, there are hard hats and, you know, cranes everywhere. It's an ordeal, okay? They're trying to put on a show for y'all. James brings May her breakfast that morning, and he has a ring on the tray, and he wants her to marry him again right now, May. Let's do it right now. She says if they can't be on one accord, they can't get married, okay? They need to figure out some type of way to settle this situation with the skanks. Maybe they should take 10 acres of the land, sell it, and give them the money. But they need to do something. That's what Lord is trying to tell her, that they need to do something about this. James feels like giving them anything will say that I did something wrong, and I didn't. I didn't do anything wrong, okay? He said that he did not kill Daryl James. So giving them money is like giving them hush money, any money. And he doesn't want to do that, which I can understand. You know, I really can. Y'all, I don't think he did it. I think Mac did it. I think Mac did all of the bad shit. And he just let James be the face of all of the bad decisions. Okay, like that was basically, you know, how this all went down. Jacob is in his room reminiscing on the love he had, looking at pictures of the kids and stuff, when Zora walks in, okay? Zora still wants to go to New York, and even though they have told her to cancel her flight, she doesn't want to cancel her flight. She wants to try to finagle and, you know, convince her father to just let her leave and go to New York as soon as possible. He tells her that he's trying to be nice, but she pushing it, okay? Cancel the damn flight before I have to cancel it for you, and just give me a second. We got all of this stuff going on. We got stuff going on you don't even know going on, and you trying to up and leave, okay? Stay put until further notice. I don't understand why you can't get this. She's still not gonna listen. So y'all, Grace and Aaron go to Calvary to give Judy, Phil, and Fernando, or whatever his name is, the injunction for failing to disclose to Jacob and Carissa that H&H were the real proprietors of the business that was trying to buy their land, okay? Now, we all know that Carissa knew that. Now, I didn't realize that Jacob didn't know that yet. Fernando says not only did Carissa know, but she was quite comfortable with it, okay? And he helped her with it. Y'all know, insinuating sex. And then Judy pulls him to the side. Grace calls Jacob to ask him to ask Carissa if she knew that Hope and Harmony, or Harmony and Hope, or whatever, was the real proprietors of the business that bought the property, okay? So Jacob calls Carissa, and she admits that she knew that she was selling to Hope and Harmony. She knew. And he was like, thanks for the info. That's all I needed to know. And he hangs up the phone to call Grace back and tell her what was up. May and Tara are negotiating what to do with the house. Tara says that Rochelle wants James to admit what he did, okay? May says that she don't know what to do about that, okay? Now, she trying to give them a portion of this land. What's up, okay? Tara says that that will not be enough for Rochelle, and at the end of the day, they are not on the same side. She is on the side of the rest of the skanks because their daddy is the one that ended up dead because of whatever was going on with you and your family. So y'all, AJ showed up and tried to put the car together. But James was like, oh, let me help you with that, you know. And they kind of get into this conversation about whether AJ wants to get saved or not. Y'all know AJ not really feeling all of this. But James tells him, when you decide to, I hope I am there, because a smile that will be on your face. You know, just telling him about how good God is, you know. So I can see that in the foreseeable future that AJ will eventually give his life over to the Lord. Grace and Aaron go and talk to the caretaker about Daryl James. And they find out that Daryl James is Mrs. Davis' son. Also, like, why would you think that this lady's son would hit her? Like, make it make sense. You could tell the caretaker was an old racist white man that thought that this negro that was coming around, this nice old white lady, meant her harm. But you knew that that was her son? Make it make sense, white man. Make it make sense. Charity and James are watching the news coverage of Calvary, fitting to be tearing. Charity and James are watching the church tear down on the news when May comes in and asks them what they watching, and they talk about how evil Bob is. And May is like, oh, I believe that people, make decisions and God makes a way for them to change their lives around and all of this and this and that. And Charity, me, and James was like, nah, he's a demon seed, period. And then Grace comes in and tells everybody that Daryl James was Mrs. Davis' son. And so James says, oh, how could I not have known? He puts two and two together, I guess. I don't know. But he says to go ahead and call Tara and Rochelle and get them to come down to the house. They need to talk to them. And May is like, I don't want them coming down here to my house. And it's like, if y'all gonna give them the house, y'all might as well call them down to the house. Come on now. When they get there, May tells them that Mrs. Davis was their grandmother. And May says that they will give the house to them as long as they can get all of this verified, that they will give the house and the land over to them. Rochelle wants an admission of guilt. And James is like, well, you're not going to get it. Okay? Then Jacob comes in and says that Charity sent an email to the church saying if they wanted to know the truth about Bob Whitmore, then they needed to come down to the church at 5 o'clock. Okay? Or whatever the time was. So James says that, well, come on down to the church. I'll tell you the truth down at the church. So everybody's going down to the church for the truth. Zora asked Sophia if she can ask Grace to give them money to move to Brooklyn together. And Sophia feels like, girl, you was just trying to run away from me. And now you want me to ask my mama for money so we can go and run away to Brooklyn together? And she was like, it's not like that, but yes. So she's still trying to rush this situation. Back at the church, Bob is telling everyone that Charity is paranoid and that Edenville gave low-interest loans to folks who needed help. They were doing something that everybody would be proud of at Edenville Lending. And it was just kind of like, are you really going to spin that story to these people? As he's pandering to black folks, okay? Everybody's kind of walking in and, you see the family about to come in mob deep and stuff like that. Grace and Darius come up with some paperwork to show almost all of the loans were given to black families and all of them were signed off by Phil's mama, which was a black lady that they used to put forth this image that they were like a black-owned business. And Phil, for some reason, I guess because we're now in the house of the Lord, finally sees clearly and tells the congregation that his mother told him on her deathbed that it was something she was scared God would never forgive her for. And he wasn't sure what that was, but now he knows. And the way he looks at Bob, it's just kind of like, word Phil, word Voldemort, now you see it. Like, to me, the fact that it took this moment to make him realize what Bob has been this entire time, it was just kind of like, sure, Phil, sure. Bob tries to say, oh, son, you don't know what happened. I'm not your son. I'm not your son. You know what I'm saying? Look, shout out to Columbus Short. He goes up to Judy and he says, I'd like my ring back. I'd like my mother's ring back. And she's like, what? And she takes the ring and she throws it down on the ground, and you can hear it like throughout the entire church. Poop, 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 poop. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what you wanted. Now you got to get down on the ground and pick it up off the floor. And Charity is over there. You know what I'm saying? Just like, oh, I can't believe I had respect for you. Bob then says, stop focusing on the past. Then Bob calls out Connie. Y'all saw that, huh? He was like, Connie is the one that called us here because she saw what the Greenleafs were doing and how tyrannical they were. and how they were running y'all into the ground, and y'all couldn't touch them. They were taking advantage of y'all. And then we hear James' booming voice from the back of the church. Yes, I took advantage of you. Yes, I did. I was just like, oh. And the whole family come in squad deep. I was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was a vibe. James walks in and he says, I did take advantage. I got fat and happy. And in the process, it was wrong. And it was all my fault. Just mine, he says. He used the house to get a loan to get the church. As he's telling this story, he's walking up to the pulpit, you know what I'm saying? Like just taking command of his church once again. Bob really can't even say nothing, just standing there, trying to latch on to whatever the mood of the congregation is. I was like, I didn't peep you, sir. Okay, you should skedaddle. But James tells them that Mac told him to go and see Mrs. Davis, and he didn't put two and two together. It's like he was seeing them in a fog. It's like he understood the two pieces, but he couldn't tell how they fit together, And now he realizes that, it was the demon of greed and wealth and power that's, basically tricked him. Okay, he was just trying to succeed, and he stopped paying attention to the things that were questionable to him. And that was his fault. And he tells Rochelle that he knows that this is not what she wants to hear. But the truth of the matter is, I didn't call your daddy down there, but I'm responsible because I should have been paying attention to what was going on around me instead of focusing on money and the house and all of that. And when Mac, brought the house into play and they got the church, it was like all of a sudden I'm succeeding. I got to keep on doing what I'm doing because I got to keep on succeeding. And y'all know how they try to use success as a reason to say that, you are in God's favor, which I think is so ridiculous since there are a whole bunch of evil people who are highly successful. So, believe what you will. But when James breaks down and says, I'm afraid that I did not teach you what is possible with God, but what is inevitable without him. I was like, oh. Y'all, that line work, y'all, that writing. Okay, and then Corinne stands up and says, you taught us more than that, Bishop. Okay, and then some other people stand up and, validate what she said. And y'all, then Charity, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Okay, look here. I had to give y'all the 5 heartbeats version of Amazing Grace. Look, let's go ahead and press on, okay? Phil tells Bob that he needs to go. Everybody sings together, and then Phil just stands there with this pain looked on his face, everything he's done. Okay, and you see Bob, Fernando, and Judy scurrying out of the church. Grace follows Rochelle out into the vestibule and says, where you going, Rochelle? You don't want the house, baby? You won. And Rochelle says, I never wanted the house. I just wanted what James just gave me in there, which is the truth. And now that I have that, I'm good. Grace says, oh, and thank you for getting AJ in contact with Noah. I know that was you. I know you did it to hurt me, but it was a blessing. And Rochelle says, well, you know what they say, God worked through everybody, even a little sinner like me. I said, oh, hallelujah. Okay? Y'all, I love what LaToya Luckett brought to this role. Thank you, LaToya Luckett, for being an exemplary artist, because this was good, girl. You gave us everything with this pop collar and cheetah print. You gave us life, okay? Know this. So y'all, when it's all over, Phil tries to talk to Charity. And Charity is like, never again, Phil. I trust you with my heart once, and you showed me that I should never make that mistake again. So I won't. And she turns around and she walks off, and I was like, you better go, Charity. You better go, girl. Don't forget you gave your parents church up. You gave your family church up for this nigga. Okay? You better not go back to him. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Okay, look, she was walking away. Yes. I was like, yeah, you better Loretta Devine this shit. He's watching. Oh. You know, that was the vibe I got. Then we see Grace and Sophia talking, and Sophia says to Grace, Mom, you know, I promise I'll never send any pictures of myself out again. I'll never let that happen again. Grace was like, what pictures? So apparently Zora, did a little mind trick on Sophia and made her think she'd already told Grace about those nudes. That way, when she mentioned it to her, she'd basically be telling on her damn self. See, I didn't even do it. Look at you. I was like, yes, Zora, that was smart. I appreciate that. This whole time, I've been feeling like, how could y'all possibly think that Grace knows about that? With everything that's going on right now, do we really think she would have never had one scene mentioning her daughter's titties being on the internet? Child, I doubt it. So y'all, this is the scene. Oh Lord, it had my nerves so bad, y'all. When she was coming out of the bathroom, I was like, oh Lord, it's happening. I was like, oh Lord. And my husband was like, what? But then when the camera was coming, panning outwards, I guess, and you could see him sitting there on the edge of the bed with a Bible in his hand. So when I saw him sitting on the edge of the bed, I thought everything was okay. I was like, it's okay. He's sitting on the edge of the bed. You know what I'm saying? I was like, he's sitting up. And then when they showed his face, and half of his face wasn't moving, and I know that look, y'all, because my grandmother had a stroke on one side of her body, and and what she had a stroke, and then one side of her body went numb. The same thing happened with my cousin. Like, I just had people happen, that happened to them, so I knew what that was, and I was just like, oh no. And he was like, pen. So she gives it, James, what's wrong? James, I'm gonna get you some help. And she gets him a pen and he writes on the Bible, I do. Because before she realized what was happening to him, she was saying she was ready to get married the way he wants to get married as soon as possible. And he said, I do want them paper. And then he passed out and she was like, James, no, wait. No, like, y'all, Lynn Whitfield acted her ass off. Okay, Lynn Whitfield deserves an Emmy nod, something. Somebody needs to give Greenleaf something. Okay, besides a trumpet award. No disrespect, but they deserve more. I'm just saying, they deserve more awards. This is just excellent writing as far as dialogue. Because I feel like some things don't make sense as far as storyline. But you know what? It's the end. We're gonna let them slide. All in all, y'all, it just broke my heart to watch her go down with him on that bed and his eyes closed. And in the next episode preview, we see people in black. I was like, oh, Lordy God. I'm all right. I'm all right, y'all. Y'all don't even know. Hopefully it won't look like it. But like, there's like a couple of hours in between me recording this video because halfway through I started feeling bad. So I had to go and like lay down for a little while. But I'm feeling a little bit better now. I think it was something I ate yesterday. And I had to drink some of that ISO tea to like get my stomach together. I drank that ISO tea. Maybe like 30 minutes later, I was feeling fine. I just passed out. So, if y'all want to order some ISO tea, the Detox Show's tummy area, y'all go ahead and click that link down below. If you follow me on Instagram, the link is in my bio along with everything else. You can also DM me. And on Instagram, if you want to try samples of the tea as well, y'all can DM me. It usually takes me a little while because my DMs are packed. But if you hit me up and be like, hey, I DM'd you somewhere on Instagram, then I usually try to go find you. So y'all just let me know. But it definitely helped me, help my stomach, whatever was going on with me. Anyway, I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video and my dedication to do it whether I'm about to pass out or not. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.